What is up, guys? I'm an Apples Legend, and today we are going to be doing the highly requested Fallout 4 best weapons. I don't know if it's highly requested, but it was requested, so we're going to go ahead and go on that. This is not going to be in any particular order. These are just kind of weapons that I want to do, and this is only part one of probably many because I'm not a very high level in the game, relatively speaking, so I don't have all of them. The next video will probably be more interesting. We'll have the Alien Blaster, the Cryolator, things like that, some of the more legendary weapons, but I do actually have the weapons, but the Alien Blaster, I need to do all that. So, anyway, let's start out with the Deliverer, which is my favorite gun in the game. I love the look of this. I think it's great. And this is pretty much what I rock when I'm, just kind of strolling around. It has high modability, and that's great. You can change the stocks, receivers, barrel, grip, magazine, sights, suppressor, everything on it. And I love using it. The only downside is you need to be able to aim, which is kind of something that I find pretty difficult, apparently. Now, it does well against most enemies. I will say that it does the best versus human enemies, and it probably does the worst against synths. I don't know why that is, but it just does. It just does not work very well against them. I don't really know the properties of the weapons in this game, but whatever. I guess it really doesn't matter. The point is that it's a really good gun, and I recommend you find it. You can get this just by doing the Underground Railroad missions. I think it's the first mission that you unlock once you find the Underground Railroad, and it's definitely worth it. Next, we're going to be doing Grognak's Axe. Grognak's Axe? Yep. And this is pretty easy to find. Most of these weapons are easy to find, which is kind of why I chose them. It's got pretty good damage anyway. It looks really good, and you can kind of rock around with it, although it does weigh quite a bit. This is one of only 2 weapons in this list that I actually show you where to find it because I found them while I was doing the list. And this is in the Hubris comics, the first floor of it. The biggest downside of this is that it's pretty slow, slower than medium, I think. I don't think that's a proper measurement of how slow this thing swings. But it does do pretty good damage, although the biggest problem with any melee weapon is accidentally being hit before you can swing the weapon, and it stops the animation, and then you just get hit over and over again, which you can see happens right here. And you can miss. The range is kind of hard to judge too, so that's kind of a problem. But I do recommend it. It's kind of cool, although it does weigh a lot, so it's kind of more just for screwing around, I think. But it looks cool, and sometimes you can one-hit enemies like you do here. Anyway, guys, next we're going to be moving on to Kellogg's Pistol. This is gotten by killing Kellogg, which we'll talk about later in the video. And it's a pretty high damage revolver, and it works pretty well. I do like it, although this is not a very easy pistol to use, at least for me, because my aim is absolutely terrible. Although it is definitely good against most enemies, and you'll find that you can kill them relatively quickly. As you can see with a super mutant, I give them a lot of damage as long as you can hit them. It does have a couple downsides, though. For one, the fire rate, which can cause you to mess up your aim and stuff, and the other is a low magazine count, which you cannot change, unfortunately. It'll always be 6. And as you can see here, my amazing aim gets me killed once again. Now, I'm just showing you more versus super mutant after I died. I went ahead and replayed this part of the map and killed the super mutant. It's really good. It does best against synths and turrets for some reason. I'm guessing maybe that's because Kellogg worked with the synths and the Institute and stuff like that. I don't know if there's any correlation between that, but kind of cool anyway. Now, you get Kellogg's Pistol by killing Kellogg, which is part of the main storyline. I don't know how far it is because I've not been going in order of storylines, so I don't really know how far into the story it is. But it's pretty much right before you actually go to the Institute. Spoiler alert, I think, maybe? I don't know. Next, we're going to go on to my favorite weapon in the entire game, and I have renamed it the Boxcar, but its real name is the Big Boy. It's good against all enemies, absolutely all enemies, and it has extremely high damage, and it's basically just an upgrade from the Fat Man, if you've seen him. The Boxcar is a little bit harder to get a hold of, kind of expensive, and the mini nukes can be expensive to find. So we go ahead and test this weapon out on Swan. You can find him in the Swan Pond near the start of the Underground Railroad mission. And as you can see, one mini nuke, which actually fires 2, but it only uses 1. Very cool thing about this weapon. Pretty much takes it all the way down, and the last one will kill Swan for us. If you've ever beaten the Mirelurk Queen, it kills the Mirelurk Queen in 1 nuke and a grenade. So that's pretty awesome too. And that's a great transition to our next weapon, which is the Furious Power Fist, which you can find on Swan's body. and it's actually a really good weapon. It has pretty high damage for melee weapons. It says it swings at a medium speed, but it seems a bit faster than that, and it's pretty easy to find. Once you kill Swan, you get it. That's pretty darn cool. Obviously, you can do one mod on it, which is puncturing. I have not done that because I don't have a leveled up gun nut or whatever skill is required for it at the moment. As you can see, this is happening again with the swing animation, which is just unfortunate. But the best thing about this weapon is that as you hit enemies, consecutive hits on the same enemy gives it increasing amounts of damage. So that means it's pretty much good on all enemies, but worst with Mirelurks. Much like any of the other weapons, it's kind of hard. And as you can see there, you can also one-hit lower to mid-level enemies. It happens pretty much with lower enemies, and you'll never one-hit a high-level enemy. But pretty versatile, pretty good, and it looks cool. Kind of like a brick with rebar pushed through it. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much it for my weapons for Fallout 4. This is just the first video. I'll be doing more because I know that these were kind of uneventful, but they are all pretty easy to find, and that was kind of the, driving force behind that. So hope you guys enjoyed my first Fallout 4 video. I'm an Apples Legend, and I am out.